21 gates, which look like U's when you flip them upside down. You walk through the center of the 21 U-shaped gates to enter up onto the Jerusalem Temple Mount, holy ground, where the golden dome sits upon the top of an octagonal building structure called the Dome of the Rock. So before you enter up onto the Dome of the Rock platform, you must walk through these 21, I call them U-shaped gates, because when you flip them upside down, you see 21 U's. A big U in the center for the big gate, a smaller U to the right, and then several smaller U's after that. So on the left you see U's, but on a blank piece of paper, if you draw the name of Allah on a blank piece of paper, you're drawing a series of U's, like 5 U's together on a blank white sheet of paper spells the name of Allah, the Islamic Aramaic name of Allah. As we uncover Allah's name being generated from the center of the 21 gates, U-shaped gates, when you flip them upside down, that you must walk up through to get up into the Temple Mount. So this smashes the Greek and Roman image of a Caucasian Jesus forever. Now, when you walk through the entrance gate, you see that you're walking through the name of Allah. To enter up onto the Temple Mount. So here's where we see the 21 U-shaped gates as viewed from a helicopter. Now when you look at the early 1940s Temple Mount entrance gate area as viewed from a helicopter, you see the image behind the 101 Islamic entrance gate name of Allah as Yeshua that created Genesis 2:7 Norman hit the human race. So when you look at the entrance gate in the early 1940 photos, you see a elongated heated African ancient of days face of the first Adam, in which I refer to as the 000111075. It's generated from the existing cube and tomb dome structures, just behind the 21 U-shaped gates that you walk through to get up onto the Temple Mount. So the face that appears generated from buildings is a black African that has a long watermelon-shaped head, and the long rectangular building structure behind the entrance gate gives the appearance of a white robe because of the white walls and roof of the buildings behind the entrance gate. So when you're looking straight down upon the early 1940 photos of the Jerusalem Temple Mount entrance gate area, you see a black man with a long watermelon-shaped head and wearing a white robe sitting on the throne of King David. And that is where we see the 000111075 elongated heated African ancient of days face of the first Adam. So it's important that we connect the first Adam to Allah. Okay, because if you refuse to do that, then the moment you step into the 21 U-shaped gates to enter up onto the Temple Mount, you step into the name of Allah, generated from the U-shaped gates. So you're not stepping through an English name of Jesus. You're not stepping through a Greek and Roman-based Jehovah. All this crap is nonsense. It was added into 400-year-old mistranslated King James Bible in theological racism 400 years ago by the 1611 King of England, 72 Greek and Hebrew appointed scholars that went to northern Africa to decode the Islamic Aramaic Dead Sea Scrolls. Dead Sea Scrolls. As we uncover the Islamic African ancient of days face of Allah as Yeshua that created Genesis 2:7 Norman hit the human race, now we can walk through the 21 U-shaped entrance gate where we see in the center the 101 Islamic Aramaic name of Allah. Now, once you walk through the entrance gate, you up onto the octagonal building structure platform that has a golden dome. As soon as you walk up towards that octagonal building structure, take a camera with you when you visit the Jerusalem Temple Mount. Okay, the first thing you see is 8 walls and rectangular window frames within all of the walls. In each rectangular window frame, you see a central Ethiopian cross being flanked by a 1, 2, 3 grouping of pyramid squares on the upper left and right hand corners. Okay, this occurs throughout the outer surface of the Dome of the Rock. This is where we make one of the greatest archaeological and theological discoveries of all time, as it deals with geometry and theology and the Egyptian pyramids. So, as we connect the Islamic 101 Temple Mount name of Allah as Yeshua, generated from the central entrance gate, now we approach the octagonal building structure on foot as we walk through the name of Allah. Now, as we approach the octagonal building structure, we have identified the 1, 2, 3 grouping of pyramid squares, which is a geometric representation of the 1, 2, 3 GIZA pyramids. Now, it is only when we include the black African Ethiopian couching lying things of ancient Judaism to the 1, 2, 3 group of the pyramid squares. As soon as we make this simple discovery of the African Ethiopian lion of the tribe of Judah being connected to the Jerusalem Temple Mount outer wall rectangular window frames that has a central Ethiopian cross that is pointing all of humanity to a cross-shaped building structure located in modern Lalibela. So, when we go to the Egyptian pyramids, that's referred to in the King James Bible in the book of Isaiah, 19th chapter, 19th verse. It says, "In that day there should be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt, and the pillar at the border thereof, and it should be for a sign and witness unto the Lord of hosts." So they talking about Allah, since you walk through the name of Allah to get up onto the Temple Mount. And we see a black watermelon-shaped headed African ancient of days face of the first Adam behind the name, the 101 Islamic Aramaic Temple Mount name of Allah. As we take a look at the non-profit archaeological sites, which is a handful existing in the Middle East, we see that the Dome of the Rock outer wall rectangular window frames images, archaeological history has been denied in the mainstream archaeological centers around the world. What I'm talking about is the book of Genesis, 49 chapter and 8 verse, speaks of the fourth son of Jacob, who's now cast down in front of the Isaiah 1919 Egyptian pyramids as the Ethiopian couching lion sphinx of ancient Judaism that ruled over ancient Giza, Gaza, Gath, Ekron, Escalon, Palestine, and Jerusalem. According to the book of Psalms, 105th chapter, 23rd verse, the 12 sons of Jacob left the Babylonian stealth pyramid civilization of Ham, which is located in the modern Iraqi stealth pyramid area, as they crossed the Euphrates River and entered into ancient Egypt, bringing with them the Babylonian stealth pyramids, as we now see the famous stealth pyramids of Saqqara as the first stealth pyramids in North Africa. When we see the same stealth pyramid globe earth rectangular king shape dimensions of a 1, 2, 3 group in the pyramid squares appearing within the stone rectangular window frames that adorn the entire outer wall surface of the Dome of the Rock octagonal building structure of King David and Solomon. We see the archaeological discovery of Laurel Smith of Chicago, Illinois, non-profit home video and artworks creations, where we see a 1, 2, 3 group in the pyramid squares flanking the central Ethiopian cross. This 1, 2, 3 group in the pyramid squares is connected to the Isaiah 1919 Egyptian pyramids and the biblical black African Ethiopian couching lion sphinx of ancient Judaism, who was denied in theological racism within the 400-year-old mistranslated King James Bible that's read in every church around the world today. As we reclaim the Dome of the Rock globe earth stealth pyramid located projections of the 12 sons of Jacob, we see the 1, 2, 3 group in the pyramid squares as geometrically representing the Isaiah 1919 area viewed Giza pyramids. 1, 2, 3 group in the pyramid bases. So it's only when we go to North Africa and look down upon the Egyptian pyramids from a helicopter do we see the 1, 2, 3 group in the pyramid squares and the African lion sphinx of ancient Judaism, who's now cast down in front of the second pyramid group in the pyramid square of Khufu. Now, when we look at the Dome of the Rock pointing all of humanity to a central Ethiopian cross that's located in modern Lalibela, we have made one of the greatest archaeological, theological, and astronomical discoveries of our time concerning the dome-shaped building structure, octagonal equatorial perimeter. Now, when we look at this octagonal equatorial perimeter, we see the globe Earth 2121 rectangular King's Chamber dimensions and its octagonal equatorial perimeter as we see an octagon within the square. So the octagon of the Dome of the Rock roof placed within the square, as shown in my video. When you draw a line from each corner of the square into the center of the Dome of the Rock roof, we have just enclosed the Dome of the Rock within a huge Egyptian pyramid. This points us back to the 12 sons of Jacob, globe, earth, step, pyramid, Mercator projections, in which appears as a central Ethiopian cross. So within all of the stone rectangular window frames up on the outer wall of the Dome of the Rock building structure of King David and Solomon. So when we look at the vertical section of the Ethiopian cross and the horizontal section, we must incorporate the square within the center of the Ethiopian cross as one of the basic Masonic foundations of ancient Judaism, biblical fourth son of Jacob. So when we look at the square within a vertical and horizontal section of the Ethiopian cross, we have identified the 1, 2, 3 group of the pyramid squares. When we look at the corner of the square and the corners of the upper vertical section and the horizontal section, in other words, here's where we see the 1, 2, 3 grouping of triangles being generated from placing a square within a vertical and horizontal section of the Ethiopian cross. As we look at the Egyptian pyramids up on the Giza pyramid complex, standing straight in front of them and looking straight forward, we're looking at the horizontal view of 1, 2, 3 triangles. So when we go back to the Dome of the Rock outer wall stone rectangular window frames, we see a central Ethiopian cross being flanked by a 1, 2, 3 group of the pyramid squares, in which uncovers the globe, earth, step, pyramid, and Mercator projection of 12 Islamic Aramaic-speaking sons of Jacob as they left modern Iraq, Babylonian step pyramid civilization of Ham. So we're talking about black African Islamic Aramaic Dead Sea Scroll speaking sons of Jacob. So when we look at the Temple Mount Islamic and Aramaic inscriptions that adorn the outer wall surface of the Dome of the Rock, we must include the Islamic Aramaic inscription of the Jerusalem Temple Mount entrance gate, where we see the one-on-one Islamic Aramaic name of Allah as Yeshua that created the book of Genesis 2:7, the normal hidden human race. So as we uncover the cross-shaped building structure of modern Lalibela, appearing within all of the stone rectangular window frames up on the Dome of the Rock octagonal building structure, outer wall surface area, we have uncovered the cubic dimensions of New Jerusalem as it relates to the center of the square within the Ethiopian cross. Now, when we fly to modern Lalibela and look down upon the cross-shaped building structure that was carved out of solid bedrock, it's only when we jump down into the square area that was left and reach the bottom. It's so deep that when you look up, you're looking up from the book of Revelation 21:18, returning cubic dimensions of New Jerusalem. So when we see at the base of the cubic dimensions of New Jerusalem in Lalibela, in modern Ethiopia, we see the Ethiopian cross resting in the cubic dimensions of New Jerusalem. So when we look at the base of the Ethiopian cross in modern Lalibela, that's when we make one of the greatest archaeological and theological discoveries of our time, because we would have pinpointed the cross-shaped building structure in modern Lalibela, globe, earth, step, pyramid, Mercator projections, in which appears as 5 blocks stacked on top of one another that they form a step that you walk up on the right side, and 5 blocks that you stack on top of one another that they form a step that you walk up on the right, on the left side. So make sure that the 5th block on the left and right side is touching at the top. Now, if you stand back and take a look at this globe, earth, step, pyramid, Mercator projection, it appears as the Queen's Chamber niche within the Pyramid of Khufu in North Africa. The first room in the Pyramid of Giza is a rectangular room called the Queen's Chamber, and on the back wall of the Queen's Chamber, we see 5-block niche. That represents the globe Earth Star Pyramid Mercator projection of the 12 sons of Jacob. So as we uncover the globe Earth Star Pyramid Mercator projections and the 12 sons of Jacob, original Ethiopian cross in modern Lalibela, we have destroyed the Eurocentric temple mount views of modern Christians and Jews as we look at the Egyptian pyramids as 1, 2, 3 triangles up on the first level of the dome of the rock, outer wall surface area within the stone rectangular window frames. Then we have associated the octagonal roof of the dome of the rock with the globe Earth 2121 octagonal equal 12 perimeters. So when we look at the Lion of the tribe of Judah, who is denied in theological racism, as he is now cast down as the fourth son of Jacob in front of the Isaiah 1919 Egyptian pyramids, we have made one of the greatest archaeological, theological, and astronomical discoveries as we see him couched down in front of the dome of the rock, 1, 2, 3 group in the pyramid squares that appears within the dome of the rock outer wall stone rectangular window frame, as they are seen being flanked by flanking a central Ethiopian cross. So the cubic dimensions of New Jerusalem then houses 1 John 1:1, 15 building your sun throne, in which is referred to in ancient Egypt as Malachi 4:2 winged sundays, that houses the cubic dimensions of New Jerusalem, crystallographic projected 101 atomic plane. Here's where we find and rediscover the solar theology of the Ethiopian Lion Sphinx of ancient Judaism as it relates to the Isaiah 1919 Egyptian pyramids and its geological 1, 2, 3 grouping of pyramid squares in geometry, where we see the globe Earth 2121 octagonal equatorial perimeter as seen in the North Pole concentrically viewed map image of planet Earth. So as we rediscover a black African Egyptian Sphinx of ancient Judaism that ruled over all the 12 sons of Jacob in ancient Egypt, GIZA, GAZA, Ekron, Escalon, Palestine, and Ethiopia, and Jerusalem, we have uncovered the book of Revelation 9:11, Greek devil called Apollyon, who gathers all of the world's armies together in the last day and sends them into Jerusalem and Syria to wage war against Mount Sinai's elongated here the Old Testament extraterrestrial Elohim that landed in ancient Egypt, northern continent mountain range called Sinai, in a glowing circular hydrogen light-based U.F.O that had a crystal dome where prophet Ezekiel saw alien Yeshua city. Here's where we uncover the globe Earth Star Pyramid Mercator projection of the 12 sons of Jacob as it relates to the ancient Babylonian Star Pyramid civilization's cubed sun as Nibiru, which has a 3,600-year orbit around our sun, where we see the Chinese satellite imagery of Comet Ison as Nibiru because it appears as a huge pyramid rotating within the ball of the Holy Hydrogen Light creation. So when you go and check out the online images of Comet Ison's, the Chinese satellite imagery, you see a huge pyramid engulfed within the Holy Hydrogen Light creation in the black outer regions of space. So if we uncover the Stealth Pyramid Mercator projection of the 12 sons of Jacob pointing to a huge pyramid that has a 3,600-year orbit around our sun, then we have uncovered the Giza pyramids extended apotums and basin lines generated six-point star, or the origin of the seal of King Solomon. So when we look at the African Sphinx that was denied in theological racism, being connected to the dome of the rock outer wall stone rectangular window frames images of a 1, 2, 3 group of pyramid squares, that's seen being flanked, that's seen as they are seen flanking the Ethiopian cross that points all of humanity to a cross-shaped building structure in modern Lalibela. We have made one of the greatest archaeological, theological, and astronomical discoveries of all time, as discovered by Laurel Smith of Chicago, Illinois, nonprofit home video and artwork creations. So thank you for viewing these great archaeological, theological, and astronomical discoveries. For more information, you may send your emails to laurelsmith@att.net. Thank you very much.